Surgery was never part of my process for losing weight. I was going to do it the old-fashioned way, or I wasn't going to do it at all. At that point, I was 212 pounds. When you see that kind of number and you think, this just can't ever go any higher than this, I knew that I had to do something, but I also knew that anything that I had ever done in the past really didn't work. I was able to lose weight, but I wasn't able to sustain that weight loss. I tried many diets. I think being in a support group with a registered dietitian, it really is pretty scientific. If you know how many calories your body burns while at rest, and if you know how many calories you are given to eat in a day, it's more about what I can do versus what I can't do. Because so many other diets I had done, it was all about what I couldn't do. You shouldn't eat sugar, you shouldn't have carbs. Somebody would cut out a food group. That just was a recipe for disaster. So this whole process, it really has never been about what I can't do. It's always been about what I can and pushing myself to even see, how far I can go. There is so much that I learned that it wasn't a matter of that I couldn't have my favorite foods. I just needed to learn how to make those foods in a different way. Also, I became accountable for whatever I put in my mouth by logging whatever it was that I was planning on eating for the given day. I keep a journal. Today, having a smartphone makes keeping a journal so easy. I find that before I go to bed at night, I will log in what I think I'm going to eat the next day. If I don't eat that, then I delete it and I substitute in what I am going to eat. But it gives me a framework of knowing within the amount of calories that I have allotted myself for that day, based on the amount of exercise that I have done. This is the amount of calories that I can consume in one day. I've lost 50 pounds. It's been 3 years that I've been able to maintain it. I said I was going to lose 50 pounds at age 50, and I did. Exercise has always been a big portion of my life. I exercised even when I was at my heaviest. However, I learned along the way that you can't just exercise and not eat right, and you can't just eat right and not exercise. It goes hand in hand. And I will say this, I exercise at least 6 days a week, every single day. Unless I am too sick to do that, I'm up before 5 every morning. And I put in a good hour every day. I either ride an exercise bike, I do aerobics, I've done Zumba. On my bucket list was to do a half marathon. I've done that. And that was really my pride and joy. I walk. Walking is free. It's something all of us do. And it's really enjoyable. And being a mother and a wife, everybody else's needs have always been met before my own. And that has been probably the hardest thing for me to realize, that it is truly okay to put what I need to do to maintain my health before what I do for somebody else, because if I do that, I'm going to be around a whole lot longer to be somebody's wife and to be somebody's mother. So that said, my husband, my children have been so supportive of me all along the way. And I've realized they have different dietary requirements than I do. So my house has what they need. My house has what I need. A breakfast could be anything from waffles with peanut butter, scrambled eggs with veggie bacon and cheese. It could be baked oatmeal. oatmeal, oat bran, any number of things. Lunch for me is generally, because it's very easy for me, I have a very busy day, I make a protein shake with fruit in it. And it's very easy. I will generally have a snack around 2, 3 o'clock, which is most likely a balanced bar or a cheese stick, maybe some pretzels, maybe some hummus and some vegetables. I could adjust a recipe that I might say it has heavy cream in it. I wouldn't use it. I would use soy milk. I keep kosher. So I have dietary restrictions that I work within all the time. So I make substitutions. No one would ever know or believe that I've cut the fat, I've cut the calories in half. You know, instead of sugar, I will use Splenda. Instead of butter, I use, margarine and a lot less of it. I've discovered little tricks along the way. My husband was the one that taught me how to cook, and I haven't let him back in the kitchen since. I knew Italian food as pizza or spaghetti. Mexican food was cheese enchiladas. Chinese food was cashew chicken. I really didn't know otherwise, but there's a whole world out there full of flavor, and I liked it, and I liked it too much. So, liking all those flavors, there had to be a way to not feel deprived. And I really have never felt deprived because I can take any recipe and do with it what I need to do so that it's tasty and it meets my dietary requirements. I'm not worried about going in the opposite direction. I'm really not. For the first time in my life, this is the way it's going to be, and this is the way it's going to stay. I mean, losing weight was the easy part. It's the maintenance part that's hard. When you're losing weight, it's playing a game. It's, I can lose 2 pounds this week. Oh, isn't that great? Let's see if we can beat it and do 3 pounds next week. But when you're 3 years out, it's, okay, your weight goes up and down based on the day, what you've had to eat, what you've had to drink. It's normal. And it's realizing what's normal for you and what your boundaries are in terms of a number. Should a number creep up, you have to know that's my absolute limit. That just means really being even more careful because it's called portion distortion. That cup of cereal may not be a cup. It's only a cup if you're measuring it. And if you're not bothering to weigh and measure, you don't know. It's been said to me before that I am way too OCD in my food preparation, my planning, my weighing, that food is always on my mind. It is, and I've learned that that's really no longer a negative for me.